Good day, good people. Relevant Thoughts blog is back. I'm your guy, Lewis to the T, and as always, excited to be back with you to engage with the people who support me. I'm so appreciative. And today's Black History Moment is inspired by Marcia L. Fudge. Today is Friday, February 4th, 2022. And I just want to jump right in talking about Attorney Fudge. She is an amazing politician. She's an amazing civil servant to me. She has really put her work and her action behind the words that she spoke those many years ago when she said that she would go into public office. I recently saw an interview that she did on The Breakfast Club, and it really was inspiring to see how engaged she was and to see how direct and poignant her answers were. She didn't dodge or skip over any questions. She didn't add a lot of fluff. She really was to the point, and I think it caught them a little bit off guard. I don't know if they knew that they would get what we call the real from her, right? I think they thought she was just going to be another politician or another person in the administration who would kind of tiptoe around their questions, and she wasn't. They had great questions, and she had really direct, great answers. So if you don't know much about Marcia Fudge, Attorney Fudge has been in politics for quite a few years. I want to say well over 20 years, definitely, because she started in politics. She was a mayor. She represented the congressional district in Ohio. She is now the Secretary of HUD, Housing and Urban Development. She is a past president of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. So her leadership skill and quality, in my opinion, is unchallenged, unmatched. Unlike her predecessor, Dr. Carson, who held the position prior to her, she is more than qualified to really take on this task and has a heart for the people who are impacted by the Department of Housing and Urban Development. So it's really important in those roles to have somebody who has a heart for the people. You know, growing up in Ohio, she talks about how she knows what public housing looks like. She knows what affordable housing looks like and the people who live there. You know, she can think of her mother and her grandmother and her aunts and just people in the community who really was relying upon, HUD to do their job, basically, to just hit the ground running and do what was required. So I really enjoyed the interview. She talked about things to come, but she also talked about what's already been done and really emphasized that the administration has only been intact for 1 year. You know, a lot of times we want to do a report card on all the promises that were made, but this administration has 3 more years to get a lot of these things done. Not that people don't have valid concerns, and the Breakfast Club really did a good job of raising some of those concerns, some within her purview and some outside, and she didn't skip any questions, whether they were directly pertaining to HUD or not. At one point, Charlemagne made a comment, not verbatim, but he said something to the fact that the promises weren't fulfilled or that the administration had not done anything. And she was really swift to answer that question and not only talk about HUD, but talk about the overall administration and what had happened thus far, what's happened over the past year. So I would encourage you to do a little bit of research on Attorney Marcia L. Fudge, Secretary Marcia L. Fudge, Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. She has some great interviews out there. There's a lot of information out there on her website, but she is somebody during this Black History Month that we really need to make note of. She really talks about the power of the people to shape the government, how we as African-American men and women show up, in government as citizens and holding the government accountable, holding your elected officials accountable. One of the questions she was asked was, how do we get the bill to Biden's desk to cancel student loan debt or to forgive student loan debt? Charlemagne was like, he promised to do this. Why hasn't he done it? And she said what his promise was if a bill comes to my desk, I'll pass it. And so his question was, well, how do we do that? And she said, talk to your congressman. And I thought that was a great way to answer the question. It's not always about our wants being met just because we asked for it. It's about the action we put behind it. We voted to get them in there, and now we have to hold them accountable to do the will of the people. If you haven't talked to your congressperson, if you haven't talked to your senator in your home state about getting this bill put forth on the desk of the president, then we can't really complain, not just yet, right? So let's follow all the steps. And hopefully this has been helpful to somebody. Hopefully it encourages somebody not only to participate in the process, but to understand the process more as it pertains to government and voting, and how we can hold our elected officials accountable. Again, today's moment was about or inspired by Marcia L. Fudge. Please look her up, get some more information. I'm your guy, Lewis to the T. This has been a Relevant Thoughts blog. You'll see it on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and just a little snippet on Twitter because, hey, that's their rule. See you soon.